I'm nearly 30. And that's still young. Don't get me wrong. When you are at this age, and when you're at 50 or at 70 or 80, you will be as capable of having novel experiences as you were when you were 14. Falling in love, doing something new and exciting, feeling an elation of pride and enthusiasm at something new. Those experiences are completely non-temporal. They are not at all limited by the age that you are at the time. Those are just fundamental human feelings that you can experience at any age. The reason you see so many narratives and stories and stuff, about like people getting older or they get like really uninteresting or whatever, a lot of that is just a cultural obsession with youth, which is unrealistic and frankly harmful. It doesn't reflect how people actually behave or feel. One thing that you guys have to understand is that you have infinite power to construct the social situations that bring you joy. A lot of people think, oh, I miss those parties from my high school and college days, or I wish that I had gone to more of them. Miss the excuse to give or receive gifts. I miss the excuse to go out to the theaters or go to dinner with someone. There are so many things that you want to do, but the time isn't right. The circumstances aren't right. Shut up. You can create these situations at your behest. You have the power to do so. Literally anything you want to do, any social situation you want to find yourself in, you have the power to construct the context in which it's appropriate. This is one of the most incredible things about being an adult. People say your best years are your high school years. That's bullshit. Your best years are the years where you're at your best, and those can be at any point in between, well, not really your birth, I guess, but since your teen years to your death. Your best years can be whenever. Your best years can be your entire life if you keep ramping things up, which is difficult, but not impossible. As long as you're willing to put effort in, money makes all this easier. Silver cakes, I want to be clear. Money makes all of this easier. I'm speaking, of course, as an exorbitantly wealthy, powerful individual, equal maybe to a U.S. senator. But what I'm saying doesn't always apply exclusively to situations where you have money. It can apply to anything, When was the last time one of you guys went on a picnic? Oh, I'm telling you, if there's somebody you want to go spend a special evening with, go on a goddamn picnic with them. That's a good... I've only been on one picnic in my life. Only once have I done a picnic. It was a lot of fun. A picnic. That is pretty cheap. I mean, you need the food you bring, but you would have to eat food anyway or you'll die. Vaush, it's cold outside. It is cold outside. You can find an area with some heated lamps, I'm sure. Something. I believe in you. There might be an option. Not in Arizona. It is not cold in Arizona. You can find space for a picnic in Arizona, okay? I swear to you, you can find a place. Do an indoor picnic or do a winter picnic. You guys get what I'm talking about with constructing the social situation, right? Unlearning economics. Are you still there? Yes? Unlearning economics, you seem to me, you're obviously a really smart guy, and probably pretty emotionally stable. At least that's the impression that I get from you. Do you agree with me? Do you not get the feeling that oftentimes a lot of the stuff people bemoan as they get older, oh, I have so many fewer experiences I can have, oh, time passes faster, whatever. With the right willpower, with the right willingness to challenge your norms and your habits, I think you can live as youthfully, basically forever. I really believe that. You have to put some effort in, don't get me wrong, but it is worth it. Yeah, time passing faster means you're in a rut, Do new stuff, have new experiences. Imagine your entire life is measured by your mind. Every time you have a novel experience, something worthwhile, memorable, your mind takes a photograph. And when you search through your memory, your mind will search through all the photos you've taken. If you spend a month doing the same thing over and over, your mind's not going to latch onto anything as it tries to recall. No wonder life has zoomed by since 2020. Well, a lot of that is because of the pandemic. Yeah, it stifles social experience. Everyone is telling me to disagree, but this is entirely my experience. You have a choice about whether you allow yourself to rest in your laurels. Yes, unlearning economics. Yes, saying no to new things is so valuable. A lot of people get very depressive over this, and I don't blame them. There are plenty of reasons to be sad about social situations we're in. This is one of the reasons why I'm really, really, really in favor of like sociable urban planning, because I think one of the things that can make life feel really eventful is just chance meetings, casually bumping into people, new experiences that emerge out of circumstances you couldn't have predicted, which are way easier to come about if the world is built to encourage that. Whoever came up with the idea that your best years are in high school did so entirely to with kids. I'll tell you, whoever decided that was the narrative they wanted to settle on just really hated kids and wanted to come up with that to make them depressive. Therapist question incoming. How do you get over anxiety for trying new things or hang out with new people? Dashy Queen, the only way to get over anxiety with new things is to do those new things. You have to accept that anxiety is just a natural part of a novel experience, like the way fear might be with a new roller coaster, like a kind of panic or like your stomach feels queasy, or that's just part of the experience. It's much like the same way that for difficult exercise, tiredness is just a natural part of that. If you're doing a new hike or trying a new exercise routine, tiredness and muscle fatigue aren't like terrifying things to avoid. They're a natural, inevitable, sometimes even desirable part of the experience. And if you do it enough, eventually they disappear, or at least go down, because you've gotten used to it. That's just part of the deal. People think that anxiety is a wall. Anxiety isn't a wall, If you're anxious about something, that doesn't mean don't do it. That just means do it carefully, Maybe do it a little tentatively. If there's an experience you're anxious about, that's fine. You can still do it. Just, maybe go for it and be a little reserved. And that's fine. Once you've done it once, you'll be less anxious in the future, and maybe you'll feel less reserved. That's fine. That's just part of the work. And you're making progress too. Every social event that you participate in, where you feel anxious, where you're withdrawn, where you're a wallfly or whatever, the next time you do it, it will be a little better. I know it's scary to do stuff when you're anxious, but that's okay. That's fine. That's just a natural part of the experience. And it does get easier. Vaush, between anime and Hollywood, glorifying Hollywood years, shit's rough. Oh, I fully understand. But please trust me when I say this, okay? Guys, I'm nearly 30. And that's still young. Don't get me wrong. My mind's sharp and my body's strong. I'm not in high school anymore. When you are at this age, and when you're at 50 or at 70 or 80, you will be as capable of having novel experiences as you were when you were 14. Falling in love, doing something new and exciting, feeling an elation of pride and enthusiasm at something new. All of those will be, those experiences are completely non-temporal. They are not at all limited by the age that you are at the time. Those are just fundamental human feelings that you can experience at any age. The reason you see so many narratives and stories and stuff, about like people getting older or they get like really uninteresting or whatever, a lot of that is just a cultural obsession with youth, which is unrealistic and frankly harmful. It doesn't reflect how people actually behave or feel. And a lot of that is also because people just don't keep up with the work that it takes to have novel experiences as they get older. They fall into ruts and they don't put work in to make things new for themselves. Things are new when you're younger just because you haven't experienced them before. You're younger, so of course it's new. You literally haven't even had the chance to experience it before. But as you're older, work needs to be put in to experience new things. But hey, folks, you want to hear something magical? A human can live at most, 100? You can push it further than that, but let's just say 100. There's enough stuff in the world to keep a person occupied for 100,000 years. There are enough people, enough restaurants, enough novel experiences, enough mountain ranges, vistas, pieces of media. You could keep any human being entertained, engaged, experiencing novel things for far longer than the length of any human lifetime. I felt this way when I was in Los Angeles. Los Angeles County, 13 million people. If you limited your entire life to the scope of that one county, you would die before you experienced a tenth of it. Los Angeles County is big enough to contain the world. It's big enough to contain everything, but it's just one county. We live on a world. Maybe one day humanity won't even be constrained to that. So, as long as you have the will to seek it out, there's always going to be new stuff to experience and try. There's no reason to think that being older means you're losing on anything. You're limiting yourself in any way. There's always something, Maybe it can take a little bit of effort to try something new, but life takes effort. Life takes effort. That's part of the deal. And I believe in you guys. You can do it. I'm not always perfect about trying new things, but nobody is. Just try your best. That's all we get. You try your best. Vaush, this is terrifying to me. What if I don't get to everything? Bean Juice 3. You're not going to get to everything. If the idea of not getting to everything terrifies you, you got to work on that. You're not. It's a big world. It's a lot of people. You're not going to get to everything. That's fine. Spend your whole life doing things that matter to you, and you will have done the best any human can. Nothing gets to experience everything. That's not the deal. We got a deal when we were born, and that ain't it. And it's true on learning economics. One of the few objective things about getting older is that it becomes more difficult to regenerate. You get older, you get weaker. And that's one of the reasons why it's important to do some basic exercise and stretches when you can, I am just about at the age where my natural physical well-being is going from being a granted to being something I have to put a little bit of work in for. You know what? Putting in a little bit of work for life isn't that bad. Don't you think? I mean, you were created from nothing as you were born, and now you get to do cool things like eat tasty food and dump fat loads and tight pussy. Putting in a little bit of work to keep everything on the up and up seems like a pretty worthwhile trade-off to me. To me personally, you get to experience life, all this wonderful novel stuff, all these cool things. Do a little bit of stretching and exercise now and again. You get to keep it going. Okay, fine. A lot of people don't even exercise. That's why you see a lot of people in their 50s who are total physical wrecks. They don't do any exercise. You have to do some exercise. That's also part of the deal. Find someone you care about. A gym partner. It's always good to have a gym partner. Vaush, I'm 19 and I feel like my life is over. Yeah, that's just not true. One of the reasons people feel so hopeless right around the time they turn 18, 19, 20, I'll tell you why, okay? It's because when you get older, you measure the milestones of your life by the lines that are drawn for you. And because of like school and legal stuff and what have you, as you get older and older, that's age. Here's 100. You're probably dead by now. There are a bunch of lines drawn, like all over the place. Up here, up until you turn 21. Like that. So you think like you turn 16. It's like, oh, well, I still got to go 18. I'm in school. I'm getting directions every single day of my life because I'm in school. Oh, I got to go to college, blah, 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 blah. You hit 21 or whatever. And then it's like, oh, now it's the long haul to death. Well, here's the kicker, okay? Your life actually isn't defined by these stupid lines. These stupid lines are an incredibly tiny part of life. Like, ask a person on their deathbed, like, well, how do you mark the lines of your life? What ended up mattering to you? Well, the line where I turned 18 was the big one because then I could rent a car. Nah, that ain't it, okay? The truth is the lines that'll actually matter to you are ones that you create. These are just ones society sort of pushes on you for legal reasons or convenience, social structure. Don't worry about it. In reality, you keep creating your lines. Hey, where are the lines that matter to me? When did I become the boyfriend of Vermin? Well, that would have been when I was 22. When did I break up with Vermin? When did I become a live streamer? When is today? When did I have that special A weekend with my parents where they visited and had a phenomenal time with them. When did I hook up with that incredibly dope twink right there? Why I do this? They would do this. Why I do this. None of these are legal lines. I just did stuff. You get what I mean? So when you're 19, it's like, well, all of the legal lines are done. It's like this, and then I just work till I die. That's not true. Man, Vaush is really horny today. Yeah, and I'm not going to stop either. Vaush, none of this matters. The universe is nihilistic. People only help each other for their own pleasure and to feel good. Your boy coming, exactly the kind of retarded take I would expect from somebody who was shilling for AI art earlier. The universe isn't nihilistic. You're nihilistic. The universe can't have an ethical position. And the reasons why people help each other, if you think the only reason people help each other is for their own pleasure and to feel good, outside of some obsequious, well, being kind to others makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good when other people feel good, so I'll feel good. Listen, if I'm hanging out with someone and they feel good because I feel good, because they feel good, because I feel good, because they feel good, because I feel good, because they feel good, I'm a friend, then we're friends. Live it up. Friendship is one of those wacky things that makes life worth living. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You've got it. You've done it. Oh, well, why are people nice to me? Well, it makes them feel good to be nice to me. And, because I'm happy, that makes them happy. And if I'm happy, then they're happy. And them being happy makes me happy. Then it's well, great. You've entered yourself a happiness feedback loop. Yuck it up.